The SOF communities come together in a number of ways to serve its people during and after their service. Derek Nadalini is beneficiary advocate for the Operator Relief Fund. I asked him about his team's mission.
The Operator Relief Fund seeks the flourishing of shadow warrior families. By shadow warrior families, we mean service members, veterans of the special operations and intelligence communities, and their spouses.
What does flourishing mean? What do you seek to help them achieve?
There is a health and wellness stack that is required in order to thrive and be resilient in service and post-service. So we have what we refer to as a flywheel approach, where we attend to what we've considered 5 pillar problems: sleep deficiencies, alcohol dependencies, hormone imbalances, nutrient deficiencies requiring nutraceutical supplementation, and then psychological matters that distill down into 2 factors: adverse childhood experiences with ACEs scores of 4 or higher, which are tied directly to mental, emotional, and physical ailments, and then adult-acquired post-traumatic stress injury, which is what we attend to. And the Operator Relief Fund, in executing its mission, attends to the PTSI portion of the 5 pillar problems by referring its shadow warriors and their families to a specific procedure from a specific provider. And then for the other portions of our flywheel approach, we are referring to other vetted providers to help our shadow warriors.
What's the flywheel approach? How does that work?
Admittedly, it's under development, so we're in the prototype stage on that portion of the Operator Relief Fund's processes. But what it means succinctly is that where we know that somebody is looking at a hormone imbalance, we can refer them to vetted providers who know the needs of our population specifically and attend to them with an eye towards knowing who they are by their first name, treating them like they're the only ones going through their practice, and walking with them until they get on a glide path that's optimal for that individual. Whether it's sleep, whether it's nutraceuticals, whether it's those other portions of that stack, the flywheel is essentially providing referrals to those vetted providers.
So whichever one of those intake points, for lack of a better term, that the person or family member needs to come into, then you're able to get them into this system, this ecosystem, it sounds like.
It is an ecosystem.
And move them to the other 4 pieces where they are likely, I imagine, to need some help too. Is that a fair read on it?
It is, roger that. And I'd like to dovetail on that point by saying what's critical about that is in the early stages of an individual's health and wellness journey, that they establish a positive inflection point that is that on-ramp into their own personal health and wellness journey. If it's hormones and that's the positive inflection point, which was for me, great. If it's dual sympathetic reset or dual sympathetic reset with ketamine, then that's the positive inflection point. And we see them generally going on a health and wellness trajectory from that inflection point.
And I note that you mentioned families in the description of the mission. That sounds like the people that are around the operator are just as important to you as the operator, him or herself?
Yes, absolutely. We really appreciate the question because there is a tendency for us as service members, and you can hear it from me, I've done it, where we set the conditions for secondary post-traumatic stress injury in our own homes. And so our spouses benefit from the PTSI treatments because we've brought that stress home.
As you move this forward, what would you like to see your organization do when it's mature in a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, Derek?
Well, I hesitate to speak out of turn about our intention 5 years down the line. So I will tell you generally, we hope to establish through data that is credible and verifiable, something that 5 years down the line, the enterprise architecture that is already attending health and wellness says, we really need to adopt this as a standard operating procedure in the care we provide. and that becomes something that they get well in advance of ever needing to talk to the Operator Relief Fund. Put another way, if it's 10 years from now and we've worked ourselves out of a job because we're able to establish a stack in cooperation with our network partners that imbues the health and wellness industry with something that provides these families the things they need when they need it, not after they need it, well then we've done what we set out to do.
Derek, it's great to talk to you. Thanks very much.
Thank you.